My gambling addiction is about to tear my family apart, and I can't seem to help myself. I'm a 39-year-old man, married to my high school sweetheart. We have a beautiful baby girl. She's just 4 weeks old. My wife's eyes used to light up when I walked into the room. She used to look at me like I hung the moon. But now, some days she won't even look at me. And when she does, it's with the kind of caution you'd give a fuse that's already burned too close. Like she's not sure if I'm the man she married or just the one who bet him away. Looking back, maybe the signs were always there. I remember, back in primary school, racing toy cars with my friends during recess, little plastic ones we'd bring from home. We'd bet our lunch money on whose was faster. I got good at it, figuring out which cars rolled better, which slopes gave me the edge. Some days I'd walk away with $5 or $6 and a backpack full of snacks I didn't even like. I also used to go to the convenience store with my dad. He'd let me scratch the lottery tickets while he pumped gas. He always said it was just for fun, every now and then. And I believed him. It didn't feel like a problem. Not back then. Then came adulthood. It was still just a bit of fun. A few bets on football games with the guys, $20 here, 20 there. Nothing serious. Nothing I couldn't walk away from. Or so I thought. Then I downloaded a sports betting app. At first, it was just to make Sundays more interesting. But the first time I hit big, the world blurred into a neon rush, a symphony of flashing lights and triumphant jingles in my head. Every cell in my body buzzed, alive, like I'd swallowed pure lightning. I felt invincible, like I'd cracked the code, like I knew something the rest of the world didn't. But that win didn't change my life. It changed my brain. After that, the hunger started, a relentless whisper in my ear, a tightening knot in my stomach that only loosened when I saw those flashing numbers, promising another fix. I was always chasing the next one. Before I knew it, I was betting on games I didn't even watch, following stats like my life depended on them. The highs were something else, better than any drink, better than sex. And the lows? They made you want to chase the next win even harder. I started lying, first to myself, then to her. A few $100s here, a maxed out card there, always with the promise that I'd win it back. But the hole just got deeper, and soon I was gambling more to escape the guilt than to win. Things really spiraled when my wife needed emergency surgery during her pregnancy. It was scary enough just watching her go through it, but the bills that followed, they nearly buried us. I told her not to worry, that insurance covered most of it and her family helped with the rest. Truth is, I borrowed money behind her back, from her family, from her friends, even used her phone to do it. I'd send the messages, delete the chats, and collect the cash before she ever knew they offered. And then I gambled away half of it before the hospital even sent the final invoice. She only found out because her friend, one of her bridesmaids from our wedding, Amy, called to check in. We were curled up on the couch watching TV when an unknown number rang my wife's phone. She ignored it the first time, picked up the second. It was Amy, one of the people I had borrowed money from. The second my wife said hello, I knew something was wrong. Amy's voice came through loud and sharp, and my wife, without thinking, put the call on speaker so I could hear too. Amy was upset, really upset. She said my wife had texted her in desperation, begging for help to cover the surgery bill. But once the money was sent, there was no thank you, no follow-up, nothing. Her texts and calls went unanswered. Amy said, "It's gutter behavior to block someone after they help you. If you couldn't pay me back, you should have just said so, or asked for it as a gift." My wife sat frozen, one hand on her pregnant belly, the other shaking. She had no idea what Amy was talking about, because I was the one who sent that message. I used her phone. I borrowed the money. I blocked her number. And I deleted the evidence. That was the day the light left her eyes for good. She didn't say a word after the call ended. She just sat there, staring at the black screen of the TV, like it might explain something. I tried to speak, to say anything, but the words caught somewhere between shame and panic. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just stood up slowly, walked to the bedroom, and shut the door behind her. No slam, no drama, just quiet. And somehow, that silence felt louder than any fight we'd ever had. Before she hung up, my wife tried to calm Amy down, telling her maybe she was being scammed, asking if Amy was sure she sent the money to the right account, suggesting she contact her bank. Then, Amy's voice cracked through, sharper than before. "Are you really going to play stupid? Is that why you asked me to send it to your husband? Is that why you blocked me?" All my wife could say was, "Oh." Then she hung up, stunned into silence. She didn't look at me, didn't ask for an explanation. She just stood up slowly and walked to the bedroom, shutting the door behind her with no slam, no drama, just the kind of quiet that suffocated worse than any fight. For days, she barely spoke to me. When she did, her eyes were hollow, like she wasn't seeing me anymore, just the damage I had done. I slept on the couch, not because she asked, but because I knew I didn't belong beside her anymore. Every night, I'd peek into the bedroom, watching her sleep with one hand resting on her belly, on our daughter. I'd wonder, what kind of father starts his child this way? But even then, the lies didn't stop. I told her the truck was paid off, that the final payment was behind us. The truth, I never sent the money in. I gambled it, hoping to flip it fast. And now, the truck is bleeding interest every month while collections calls ring unanswered. The worst part? I actually won from the car money. 50 grand. Clean, fast, felt like redemption. But I couldn't stop. I thought, why not push it to 100? Maybe even more. I lost it all chasing a bigger miracle. Weeks after Amy's call, my wife finally asked for all my financial records. I hesitated, stalled. She just stared at me, waiting. And in that moment, I knew this was it. When she saw the hole I had dug, there was no denial left. No more excuses, no more false promises of winning it all back. Just the cold, hard truth staring her in the face. She forced me to submit a deed to ban myself from every casino I had ever stepped foot in. It was supposed to be a step forward, a line in the sand. But addiction doesn't need a casino. It only needs a screen. And I still have my phone. The ads keep coming. New betting apps, new platforms,
New promises of easy wins flashing across my screen like an invitation. It's like the addiction is always there, lurking just to swipe away. I did manage to stay out of the casino, and I managed to pay Amy what I owed. I managed to get her to have coffee with me, and I explained my situation to Amy. I think it was the guilt that made me do it. I needed to try and mend the damage I'd done, especially to my wife's closest friend. I don't know if it helped because my wife never said anything about it. I had plans to start paying off my car bills, but then one of the teams I follow made it to the semifinals. The other club they were playing against got in by pure luck. You need to understand this second club hadn't been in the semifinals in 10 years, and their star player who brought them this far was injured and wasn't going to be in the game. I won. It was a sure odd. I won. 63 grand. It felt like a good way to take a bow from the gambling world. That's where I got the money to pay Amy. I was supposed to pay for the car, but I hoped to flip the money on the finals. I didn't. I had considered selling or mortgaging the apartment I inherited from my parents. Anything to cover the bills stacking higher than I could breathe. But I knew deep down, no matter how much I sold, no matter how much I scraped together, it would never be enough if I didn't stop gambling. Our baby was born. I should have been in the moment, overwhelmed with love. But all I could think about was how I had already failed her before she even took her first breath. My wife has kept my baby's data, social security number, everything, away from me. She says, I don't want my daughter to grow up paying off debts on cards her parents maxed out before she even got here. She plays YouTube stories of kids drowning in debt because of their parents' mistakes. And every time I feel like I'm living in one of those stories. I feel tortured in my own home. And I know I brought it on myself. I want to stop. I want to get my life together. It's a miracle I still have my job because I'm in such a financial mess. I know I need help. My daughter is 4 weeks old. A fragile, perfect little thing who has no idea her father is hanging by a thread. She sleeps soundly, tiny fists curled in perfect innocence, a stark reminder of the wreckage I was creating around her. Every coo, every soft sigh felt like an indictment. Her presence alone is keeping me from vanishing into the abyss of my addiction. My wife holds her close, hums lullabies in soft whispers, but she never asks me to take her, never places her into my arms, like she's afraid I'll drop her. I overheard her talking to her mother last night. I shouldn't have listened. But how do you turn away when your entire existence is being decided in hushed voices behind closed doors? She said, he's a good man, making bad decisions. I want to believe he can fix this, but if he can't, I have to do what's right for our child. I've given him 6 months to get his act together. 3 months are gone. After the next 3, I'll make up my mind. I should have felt anger, resentment, frustration, but I didn't, because she's right. I am a good man making bad decisions, and I don't know how many more mistakes I can make before I lose everything. I looked up gambling addiction recovery groups last night, even hovered over the sign-up button, but I couldn't press it. Not because I don't want help, but because admitting I need it feels like staring down the edge of a cliff, one I've been balancing on for too long. And I don't know if I'm strong enough to step back. What if I can't do it? What if I relapse? What if nothing I do is enough? The clock is ticking. Every sunset feels like a page ripped from a calendar. Every sunrise brings me closer to the day she would make her decision. The clock isn't just ticking. It is hammering, counting down the last breaths of my marriage. Tomorrow I will wake up with less time, and soon I'll wake up with none. I am trying to change. I have to be more than my addiction. I have to be the man my daughter can look up to. Because if I lose them, I lose everything.